Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this LG Gram. This is a model 15Z90S. Alright, I don't know if that's, I think it's a 15Z90S-H.AAB6U1. Alright, so anyways, let's go ahead and take this thing apart. There are these little circles that need to be removed from the bottom to be able to get it out. So you can use like a little needle or a small flathead screwdriver. They are probably going to get dinged up a little. Let me see if I can get it out with this little kind of like acupuncture needle. That would probably cause the least denting to it if I can get underneath, but it's not looking possible. Alright, anyways, I guess we'll use a small flathead screwdriver and we'll just pop those out. Basically, you just go in the outside edge of one. It kind of helps to push down on it so it pulls it outwards a little. And then we got to find a little gap. Just get in there and then pry it out. I don't know if I'll be able to. Let's see. These are seeming a bit difficult to get out. Get under there. Okay, so get in the edge and then you just pry it out just like that. Okay, so there's one. Alright, and these things kind of can get lost, so if you want, you can just stick it right next to it. Alright, let's go ahead and remove all of them. Again, just push down here a little bit in towards the center. That will pull it forward. Get the flathead screwdriver in the edge, and then peel it up. And there we go. Stick that down. Okay. And we'll just pry up all of them. Sorry if I'm going out of view. I'm just trying to take it out and I wasn't really paying attention to what I was recording. Alright, there we go. Most likely we have to remove the rubber feet as well. I'm not 100% sure, but usually, yep, that's the case. Okay. There's the screw head in there. Okay. Go. And then it looks like we're going to be using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to remove the screws. Okay, so the customer spilled some, I think they said Coke or something on it. So, so get underneath these screws and peel that up as well. Okay. Alright, we're going to switch over to the PH1 or JS1 screwdriver and we're going to go ahead and undo all the screws. Let's zoom out a bit here. Okay, and undo all the screws. You want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. Okay, so there's two back here. And I don't think we need to remove this piece here, but we'll find out. All right, one on each side and then four along the opening. All right. Last one here. Okay. Alright, now that we got all the screws out, let's go ahead and see if we can pop the bottom cover off. Usually what I do is I get my fingernail in the gap here along the bottom cover and the palm rest, and then I'll push with my thumbs on the palm rest area, and let's see if this works on this model as well. Do that, work your way down. You can hear a clip came out, so we'll keep going. Okay, you don't want to push on the touchpad, alright, because you don't want to damage that. Once you get that undone, you can see now we can kind of get in a gap here. Okay, so what I do is I get my fingernails in there, push, pull up there, and then push down with my other finger, my thumb, and we'll pull there, and then I'll try and get a pry tool or my fingernail in the side here if we can. Let's see. Oh, and there we go. Okay. All right, we're gonna work our way onto the other side as well. Same thing, just pull. And actually, we didn't even need to kind of pry in there, but sometimes you have to run a tool along the side here to help. Okay, so you kind of go in there and you can see how it's basically pulling the cover so it pulls it inwards like that. Okay, and let's see if there's any clips here, any screws or clips. We gotta kind of wiggle and pull this. Okay, this down, kind of wiggle and pull. Maybe there's clips we need to undo somewhere here. Okay, it looks like this whole piece is gonna come up. So I pulled it over this way as I kind of lifted, and it kind of lifted out this part. Let's see if we can do that on this side as well, or if it already did. Oh, it already happened. So the middle, is there a screw here or something? It seems, the middle seems to be caught on something. Let's see. I'm not quite sure if there's a screw there. Can we see in there? It doesn't look like there's a screw. So I would think I'd be able to see it. So most likely it's just some clip that we need to kind of work a little harder. I don't know. Because I don't think we can get... Can we take this out? Let's try taking that out. Maybe there's a hidden screw in the middle. It's very possible. Yep, there's a screw there. Okay. So good thing I didn't just try and yank it completely out. Alright, don't forget that screw. And now we should be able to, there we go. And oh, I can actually see some coke in here, coke on the battery, some towards the fan. The customer said there was like not really much at all, but I do see quite a bit here. So let's see. We're probably gonna have to take the whole thing apart. Here you go, this is what it looks like. All right, I'm just gonna use some paper towel and some isopropyl alcohol, and we're just gonna wipe it up. Although it's soda, so probably water would work better, since soda doesn't really have much fat oil kind of stuff in it. It's more just the sugars. Okay, well, you can see how it wiped off. All right, can wipe this off as well. Okay, so that's cleaned up. There's also a bunch inside the bottom cover here, so we're gonna have to clean that as well. All right. Not like cleaning the bottom cover will really do much. You can see how it kind of dripped all the way down to there. Alright, so we're just kind of cleaning all of the dust and stuff as well, since we have it open. Why not? Look at that, it turned yellow. What in the world? Alright, well, let's get some more paper and clean some more here. Wonder if I cleaned up some like marker or something, why'd it turn yellow? Okay, so since the liquid was like found over here, that means it went down over there. Yep, it's in the SSD. Wow, look at that yellow stuff. What is that? I don't know. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and wipe the SSD off as well. My worry is he said that it spilled in the keyboard, so if it made it onto the bottom, that means it went through the entire computer, the entire board. We're gonna go ahead and disconnect the battery. So let's go ahead and get a thumbnail here. Let's go ahead and actually undo the screws for the battery. The battery model number is EAC64798411. I don't know if there's any other information on the bottom of it, but we're gonna go ahead and remove the screws and take a look. Okay, since liquid spilled on it, we want to see if there's stuff underneath as well. Okay, so now we got those screws, we can lift this, and I do see some residue of the liquid spill there, so yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and peel this sticker up. I'm gonna use one of these little tools to make it a little bit easier, but basically we're just gonna peel this thing off. Huh, it's really stuck in there. Okay, peel that. maybe it'll be easier to peel from this side. Okay, we'll peel that off. All right, and now that we got the tape no longer on it, on the cable, we should be able to kind of grab. You want to grab as close as you can. So what I do is I get my finger underneath there, and then I'll pinch both together and just wiggle it side to side, and there you go. It came out really easily. So here's the actual battery model number, LBZ9S-H.AAB6U1 All right, so that's the battery model number. Let me clean this up a little bit more because there's also some liquid residue on the bottom here. Okay, as you can see, the residue on the outside shouldn't really affect anything, but if it's somehow soaked into the battery, then yeah, that's going to be bad. I do see some residue along the sides here, so there's a good chance it might have gotten into the battery, but hopefully not. All right, we'll set the battery aside, and let's see, the touchpad looks okay. Let's go ahead and actually pull this out. There's 2 slots for SSDs. There's one M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD here, then another slot secondary if you want to add another one. RAM is soldered underneath here. You can't replace it. CPU is soldered underneath this. The heatsink, if you take the heatsink out, you do need to redo the thermal paste. Wow, what the... Did they coat this thing with some kind of special ink? I think they coated it with some kind of ink or something that when you clean it, it turns yellow. Because if he spilled Coke on here, it shouldn't be turning yellow like this. Okay, so I'm cleaning back here because I saw some liquid residue there. And, ew, it turned brownish. Yeah, I have a feeling they put some kind of coating on here so they can tell if somebody opened this up. Alright, anyways, I'm going to open this. And we're going to press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power. Alright, this makes it a lot safer to work on. So we'll just hold it for a few more seconds. Some people ask if they need to do this. It's to make it safer to work on. If you don't want to take precautions and you're going to just risk destroying your computer, then you probably don't even want to open this thing up. Okay, it's only 15 seconds. All right, so there we go. Let's go ahead now. We can disconnect the LCD connector. Very important that you do the battery drain if you're doing this, or the power drain. All right, so if you didn't see, I flipped this latch up. Okay, once you flip that up, you can pull this up slightly and then pull it back. There we go. Screen is disconnected. All right, SSD, I don't need to take it out, but I mean, let's go ahead and check since there was some liquid residue on top of the plastic. So one screw. Once you do that, you can lift this up slightly. There is this adhesive here, so it's probably going to be a pain to take it out, but let's see. Okay, I'm going to try and peel this thing off. All right. Oh, actually, it lifted up, not too difficult. And then you can wiggle and pull this back. All right, I think some liquid got onto this. You see this residue? I don't know if you can see that. It's like slightly pinkish or something. But it looks like liquid got to this as well. Which isn't good because that means it went underneath the board, underneath the SSD. Anyways, I'm going to clean this as well. This is going to make some gross yellow stuff all over everything as well. Alright, that cleaned off relatively easily. And there's some under here as well, so I'm going to, oops, you can't even see, but I'm going to clean that off as well. Okay, and what else? The connectors themselves look fine. I don't see any liquid residue on there, so we should be okay. Let's go ahead and disconnect everything so we can just pull the board out. Okay, so if you're looking, let's see here if I can show you. We can actually go ahead and put the SSD back in. So we'll go ahead and put that back in, sorry. Goes in at an angle like this. Push it in. Okay, once it's in, just drop it down. Make sure that the raised metal part is not underneath the thing for the SSD. You don't want to screw it down onto that and pinch it with the screw. Okay, so there we go. All right, let's go ahead and continue removing all the other little components. The fan, we probably will leave that attached to everything. So we'll remove the wireless antennas here. There's this plastic sheet on top. Lift that up, okay? You can see this white one It's with the fully filled black arrow or gray, whatever color that is. And then the hollow one, where it's just outline, has this black thing on it, okay? So now that we got that out, we'll put that plastic sheet back down. We can get the antennas back out, slide it out from under there, lift it up, slide it back under, and then lift it up. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and undo the screws holding the fan down. This one and this one. Okay, and then we got one of the motherboard or logic board screws here. It's actually called a logic board because there's no like real removable components other than like the fan and the SSD. All right, we'll remove this one. Usually if it's a motherboard, it's because there's other smaller boards that can be detached from it. Okay, it looks like there's a cable attached underneath that goes to the USB ports on the side here, as well as the speaker. This is the left speaker, although while it's upside down like this, it's the right on the right. Sorry. Interesting. Whoa, wait a minute. So they put this L, this is on the left side of the, but when you flip it over, it actually puts out the right side of the audio. So keep that in mind. I got confused because normally they label it that way. This time they labeled it the opposite way, which is interesting. All right, there's a little residue on here, so we'll clean that off as well. Wow, it made it all the way down to that side? Huh. Okay, well, anyways, we got the keyboard backlight connector here. Make sure to flip that latch up, then you can go ahead and pull this out. Okay, we got the keyboard connector here. Flip that latch up, then you can go ahead and lift up slightly and pull that out. Okay, touchpad, trackpad connector is here. Lift that latch, and then grab that and pull that. I'm pulling the little blue tab, all right? It actually separates from the rest of the cable, so you can actually use that as a grab handle. All right, then to remove the speaker, you just go under here. I go as close to the wires as I can. Make sure you're not prying up the dark gray blackish part around it. We're just pulling up the back of the white connector. Okay, so go under and pull up, and there we go. If you notice here, I don't know if I can show this well, there's a little divot in there. So if you want, you can use like a small tool like this, and you can get underneath to go under in that little divot to lift it up. Okay, I don't really use that usually. I just go as close to the back of the connector and then pull it up, and that works. Okay, so what else are we missing? We got all those screws out. Are any screws hidden? No. Okay, we'll get the other screw over here from the logic board out. All right, we got another logic board screw down here. Remove that. And we got one up in this corner here. Okay, remove that. And then we got one more here in the middle of the logic board. And that's hopefully all the screws. Let's go ahead and see if we can lift this thing up. All right, we'll zoom out. Again, there's this one cable here that's held down with adhesive, so we're gonna have to be careful. I'm gonna see if I can just tip the whole board forward. So we're gonna go under here, lift carefully. Don't lift this too hard. You don't wanna bend the heatsink here. All right, and then we're gonna kind of lift here. Actually, does the fan come out separately? It does. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove this. I actually need to clean the fan. It has quite a bit of dust in it. It's not too bad, but I mean, it can be cleaned, so why not? All right, let's see, I have my little toothbrush here I can use to brush it a tiny bit. Okay, at least this one. The other side, the fins, I'll brush it and then use an air blower outside to clean it up. Okay, so now that we got that, we can kind of lift this more, you can see. But this is actually attached there, so we won't be able to just lift this out, sadly. So I'm gonna have to peel this up carefully. I try and stay as close to the adhesive as I can while peeling up. Okay, did they actually, okay, they didn't adhesive the whole thing. So we're gonna flip this latch, pull this cable out, and then we'll go from here. And then we can go ahead and peel this way instead. Again, stay close to the adhesive and pull. You don't wanna crease it, so don't just rip it backwards this way. Okay, you just wanna try and pull it, lift it up slowly. Okay, there we go. Now we got that detached. We can go ahead and lift the whole thing up, hopefully. Oh, nope, this side of the board cable is also holding it. So we gotta flip this latch as well, pull that out, and peel this up as well. Jeez, okay. Okay, now we can lift this up carefully. All right, and then we can slide it out. Let's take a look at the bottom. There's some residue here. We're gonna have to peel this up to see what it looks like on the other side, but you can see there's some residue there. Okay. All right. The other thing is maybe the power button also got toast, but we'll clean this up. Okay, and we'll clean this. Why is it like red paint? You see that? All right, and it's also making some yellow stuff on everything. All right, let's try and peel this out and see if there's anything underneath that looks damaged. And it looks okay. I just see some like adhesive residue on there, I think. I don't think that's from the liquid. We'll use this brush to just clean it up a little. All right. Yeah, I don't really see any sign of liquid damage here. Okay, it looks fine. You can see the two other connectors there. So they might actually call this one a motherboard because the little USB ports are separate. Okay, we'll peel this, and it looks fine. Okay, so we'll stick this side back down. Alright, let's see if we peel up this side if we see anything weird. Is there, okay, make sure you peel this black portion as well. They designed this with all these little cutouts and sharp edges to make it so you tear this piece. So be careful peeling it up. And this looks fine as well. Okay, so my guess is the main board is fine. There's one thing I noticed, which he might have damaged, is you see this USB-C port? That thing's like eaten up. I can't replace USB-C ports because the little pins are so tiny. It's really hard for me to solder that kind of thing on there. But it's really easy to get to. It might just be this port is completely fried. Maybe this port is okay. So we'll try charging with this port. I'll have to cover this one with something so he doesn't try and use it again if that's the case. And then we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and put this thing back together. Okay, hold all these cables out of the way. There's a lot of little cables that are trying to go underneath, so make sure that you lift them back on top. Okay. All right, so we got all of that back in. Again, obviously you have to put it at an angle because the headphone jack sticks out into the casing. So you want to make sure that lines up before you get that in. All right, we can go ahead and reconnect everything. So the speaker cable, just line it up and push it straight down. Okay, let me zoom in here to show the other stuff. LCD cable, make sure the latch is up. It goes in slightly at an angle. Okay, get that in. And then make sure it's all the way in and then latch that down. Okay. Make sure, okay. Good. All right, you can stick this back down. Get the touchpad, trackpad cable back in. Line it up. Get that in and then latch that down. Okay, keyboard connector. Maybe I should try and zoom in a bit more. Okay, same thing. It goes in at a slight angle so that the wings can go past those things, and then latch it down. Make sure this latches up on the back side here. Okay, get this in. Okay, is it in? Looks like it's in. I can't tell if it's supposed to go further or not. Then latch that down. Okay. Then we got the USB stuff. Make sure this is open. line it up, get that in place. Okay, once it's in, then slide your finger over to latch it down, and then just slide your finger over to push back down the adhesive. Right, then this side, same thing. Make sure the latch is up. Get that cable in. I use the blue tab to help push it, and then latch it down. Just slide your finger over. Okay. There we go. We got the 2 wireless antennas, but let's go ahead and put the fan. Let me clean it real quick. All right, I'm back. So let's go ahead and put the fan back in. You can see it's a lot cleaner now. Okay. So just line it up, drop it down. All right, they actually have a little dot on here, but if it doesn't, if you're replacing the fan, just know you can see the little metal pins there through that. On the other side, you can see it's solid plastic. Okay, so you want the little metal pins part facing up, line it up, and then pinch it back into place. All right, we'll line up the antenna wires again, get them under, over, under, and then we'll plug this back in. Make sure to lift that up. The way you know if these are in the right place, because you want to make sure they're in properly before you push it down, is you kind of like wiggle it around on top and it will kind of catch. You see how, like if I try and move it, it stays there. So that's how you know it's good. And then just click it down. Okay, there we go. It's in place. We'll do the same with this one. You can see how it will hook and then click it down. All right, go stick that back on top. All right, we can go ahead and start putting back the screws. So we got, oh, did I take the wrong one? Okay, so we got this screw here. I almost used one of the battery screws. Okay, we got this one here. Got this one here. Okay, we got this one here. Oh, there's a fly flying around. Okay. All right, then we got this one up here. Also, if you notice, I twist the screw backwards before I tighten it down. All right, the reason for that is to make sure that it drops into the threads properly and isn't going to strip or go in at a weird crooked angle. Right, another screw up here and another screw down here. All right, let's go ahead and get the battery back in. So we'll zoom out. Okay, so the battery, we just got to line this back up. Make sure the adhesive is up. Okay, make sure you don't put the battery upside down. Very important, because if you try and plug it in upside down, you can either bend the pins or short the entire motherboard. All right, now we'll pull that. Make sure it's in all the way, good. Line up these screw holes, and then you can go ahead and put this tape back down. All right, we'll get back in these screws. Then we can see if it will turn on. Again, you want to make sure if you have a broken USB-C port, you don't want to keep using that one. So I hope it's because of that USB-C port. I mean, there was water inside on some of the components. So it's possible that the board is fried, but we'll see. The other thing it could be is because the power button is built in the keyboard. If the keyboard is fried, then pretty much you won't even be able to press the power button. But hopefully we'll at least be able to see if it's charging. All right, so let's get the charger. Let's take a look. So the working charge port, or should be working, is hopefully this one. And no. Oh wait, yep, the charge light is on. So it's at least showing it's charging. Let's see if it turns on. Open this up. Okay, let's push the power button. And nothing is happening. Actually, the power button is built into this, it seems. So it's built into this board. So technically the power button should still work if everything else is okay. But I don't see anything happening. So I think, sadly, this is fried. Okay, one thing I didn't check is underneath here. So I'm kind of curious. Let's go ahead and undo the screws there and lift that up and see if there's anything going on with this board. There's 3 screws holding that in place. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Alright, so these you should be okay unplugging them even if you didn't do the power drain, but if you want to be extra safe you can do the power drain there as well. Okay, let's go ahead and actually just lift the speaker out. Okay, you kind of just wiggle it. It's not held in with screws. It's just those rubber things holding it. And let's see now, can we lift this up? And yeah, there's no damage to this board that I see. I mean, this looks maybe a little gross, but I don't think it's enough to, it's not anywhere where it would cause problems. Okay, so we'll stick that back down. We can also check this side. But yeah, I mean, other than that residue there, I don't see anything else. It's a little, so maybe I can try disconnecting the keyboard and see, but let me peel this up first just to see if there's anything in this. Nah, it looks too clean around there, so it shouldn't be this board. So sadly, most likely it's the main board is just toast. One thing I can do also to try is to disconnect the keyboard and see if the keyboard is somehow causing some issues. Okay, line this up. Put that in, get this in. Okay, let's get all these screws back on. Okay, we'll get these connectors back in. Punch that down. Let's disconnect the keyboard just to see if anything changes. Okay, that in, punch that down. All right, let's see if anything changes now. So I'll plug it in again. Nothing might change because maybe I need to do a battery reset again, but let's see. I think. Huh. I do see the light here flashing on and off. Let's try disconnecting the battery. Sometimes it could be the battery is faulty, especially since liquid was on it. So let's see. But usually the battery won't prevent the computer from turning on. Let's see if I can disconnect it without, okay, yeah, I can disconnect it without unscrewing the whole thing. Okay, let's do a battery power drain one more time, 15 seconds, and then plug it in and see if anything changes. Okay. All right, let's plug it in. Wait for the charge light, it's on. Push the power button. And nothing. Nope, it's completely dead. So sadly, they fried I don't know, something is in here is fried. Again, I didn't notice anything on the main board that looked like it was destroyed. I mean, I could have missed something, but I don't know. I don't see anything. Oh, I do see a little under here. There's some brown stuff there. So, but it's only a tiny bit, and it's not on any of the connectors, on any of the chips. Just a little brown speck there. I mean, cleaning that's not going to do anything because that's not going to affect anything. But we'll just clean it off anyways. Alright, and then we'll just close this. Alright, anyways, that's pretty much it. Sadly, it looks like something fried the board. I mean, it could be because the customer, they tried to turn it on like after the spill. So, yeah, sadly, they probably fried something. Anyways, we're just going to line everything back up. Clip this all back into place. Okay. I'm pushing down as well as in towards the center on all sides. That's how you get the clips back in. Okay. Alright. And then we'll just get all the screws, put back the little plastic and rubber covers, and that's all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Right? If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. I also have another channel called It's Been Reviewed and More. Same profile picture but zoomed in because it's a close look at things. I accidentally put one of the screws in the wrong spot, so now I have to open this back up so I can put the bottom screws back in properly. But yeah, other than that, alright, let's get this back out. Let's see. Oh, it's actually easier to open it from this side. I think. Maybe. Not really. Nope. Okay, never mind. It's not easier. It's about... Still have to do this to pop it open. Okay. What screw did I put? Oh. This goes here. Make sure you put that in the right spot. Okay, anyways, let's get this all back together. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. Also, if they just want to see random reviews of stuff. But again, I have another channel called It's Been Reviewed and More, specifically for those. So, yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and get all these screws back in, put the little plastic pieces and rubber feet, and we're good to go. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, you're welcome to stay as I get all of these back in, but we're pretty much done. Let's get the last few. Alright, that's it. We'll get these little circles back in. This rectangle. Circle. Get the big circles. Left little circles on it. Whoops. Okay, and the last one. Alright, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna clean it up a little and we're good to go. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next one. Alright. Okay, let's drop this spike.